scripture from the Dharma class. This is actually starting with the handwriting, and this is from the examiner of the three realms, one of the Buddhas that always open up the Dharma class. Every Dharma class, he will come down to the handwriting first. Okay, so today Virginia will explain what the formal scripture from the handwriting is all about, so we can learn from the Buddhas.
I try to translate the scriptures both by the chief examiner of the three realms and also the scripture by holy teacher and also the third prince. But my translation may not be perfect, so I'm asking our transmitters and also senior lecturers to review. But you might you can just do with my version for the time being. Okay. As you can recall, on the first day of the Dharma class, right after the offering ceremony, there are three talents to open the Dharma class, and actually they represent heaven, earth, and human. And actually, the handwriting scripture by the chief examiner of the three realms. Remember, just a week ago, before the Dharma class, Carrie gave us a brief introduction to the chief examiner of the three realms. And he used to be one of the, guardian of the Lord in heaven, but he has some affinity with our holy teacher. And in the Tang Dynasty, the early stage of the Tang Dynasty, where they have the emperor, holy teacher was the incarnation at that time. He incarnated as the emperor, and then the chief examiner of the three realms is the eighth son of the king or the emperor. Yeah, and so they have such affinity, and so chief examiners of the three realms comes to every Dharma class to help supervise the class. And so this is what the handwriting scripture is going to about. It's going to tell us how precious it is to have the Dharma class, to be able to attend a Dharma class, and also some of the things we need to be careful during the Dharma class. It's some kind of class regulations. Yeah. Okay. Now, usually they would open up with two lines, like a poem. Okay. The first one, it says, proper heart and mind, 心正, proper mind and heart can make sure or ensure that we also have proper conducts. Yeah, because what we do, what we say, is a reflection of what's inside. Yeah, and sometimes people, we also have such saying in Chinese, a person's appearance is also like a mirror of the inside. When a person is very calm, very compassionate, very kind, then he or she appears to be a very kind person and a very amiable person, right? Yeah, and sometimes the person might not physically handsome or beautiful, but if the person has a beautiful heart, then you will still find the person very endearing. Thank you. Yeah, so well, it's so a proper heart, you can say, is the foundation of everything. Because we have the proper mindset, we have the proper view that kind of guarantee that our action and our speech will follow logically. Yeah, it's hard to imagine. Sometimes people who might not be so kind at heart might say something kind, but you just watch the action, because sooner or later the person's behavior or conduct will betray him. When he's kind of off guard, right? Okay, and then next line says, 一正压百邪. So when we have this proper heart, this proper heart and mind, then we can overcome hundreds of evils. And so when this happens, then there's no chance for wicked spirits or demons to control us or to overcome us, to capture us, right? When the person is always so proper and dignified, then no matter how other people wants to maybe attack the person or bring down the person, sooner or later the truth will be out, right? People can still tell what kind of person that person is. And also when we have a proper heart and mind, then we have a lot of positive energy around us, and the evil spirit cannot come close. Yeah. Chinese people, some Chinese people are very superstitious. Like they don't like to walk near a cemetery in the night. And this was me before. Yeah. But after I learn and cultivate at the temple, I just feel our heart is full of kindness, full of proper notions, then I shouldn't be worried about all this. Yeah, there's also a story in China, mainland China. This was before Tao was brought to Taiwan. It originally started in mainland China, and so there were transmitters and temple staff members going on a propagation trip in one of the major cities in China, Hangzhou, where the city is very well famous for its West Lake. It's called like the paradise on earth. Okay, so they went to that place to propagate the Tao, and they could not find lodging. I guess all the hotel or inns were booked. But then the local people say there is a big mansion that's empty. It's been empty for a long time because it's haunted. Yeah, there's some causality story associated with this mansion, and I don't want to, because then we digress too much. So the transmitter said, no problem, we're going to live in there. And so they stay in there, and nothing happened to them. In the past, they had this true happening. Like there was a young couple who got married, and guess what? The next morning, they found the bride all naked, sleeping in the courtyard, and the son was nowhere to be seen. I mean, the groom. And so all kinds of things happened in that mansion because there were some evil spirits there. But then nothing happened to the transmitters, and you can guess what happened, right?
Well, the reason is because as transmitters and cultivators, they are very virtuous. So with virtuous people, the negative spirits tend to stay away from virtuous people. So in other words, if we have proper mindset, we will attract all the Buddhas. But if we have negative mindset, we will attract all the spirits. So keep that in mind. Okay? That's why we have to be aware of our thoughts all the time.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your contribution. And I just heard from Transmitter Lin another story. There was a car accident in Taiwan, and there was oh no, it was not accident. There was some kind of killing, some mass killing happened in one of the train, and the killer went to one of the cars and killed a lot of people. But when he came to one of our lectures, I mean not necessarily our temple's lectures, but lectures of the Tao Temple, the killer just kind of got scared away, and so he just went on to another cart. And later, there was an old lady who sat next to the lecturer. She said that when this killer came close to the lecturer, she found a lot of bright lights around him. So he said, what do? You must have done a lot of good deeds to have that kind of energy, or we say the aura, right? The aura. To kind of spell away the killer. And so he told her, I'm a lecturer at the temple. And the lady said, oh, I'm going to follow you to your temple. Yeah.
It's in Taiwan. Yeah, it's in Taiwan, not here.
Yeah, Taiwan, yeah.
If it's here, we'll all follow.
We don't have to follow. We are already.
I'm saying everybody will follow.
They say depending on
you cultivate your life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember when we first received the blessing? Okay, you have it. Yes. So this is for your future blessing. When we first received the blessing, that each of us will have a lamp that will be lit inside each one of us. The more we do, that light will get brighter and bigger. Okay? So that is what we call the aura. Each one of us have one. We can't see it, but the Buddhists can see it. And some people with yin yang eyes can see it. Okay? And they come in all different colors. Okay? So that also depends on what we do. Okay?
Yeah, so in the past, when I heard of such story, I thought this superstition. But now, after I learned so many at the temple, I know that everything is possible. Like some of the supernatural power that the enlightened beings have, because they have cultivated so well, and they have let go of everything. No ego, no attachment. Nothing can bind them. So they have what we call. I'm going to talk about briefly that the 10 forms of liberty. Yeah, they're not bounded by anything. Yeah, okay. Let's go on to the second line. Calm temperament creates a peaceful world. Yeah. So when our heart is calm, everyone's heart is calm. Will there still be conflicts? Right? Yeah, everyone will be like a Buddha or Bodhisattva or an angel. Then there won't be any more arguments, debates. What is that? Altercation. What is that? Altercation, right? Yeah. But how can we have this calm temperament? Yeah. It's going to be what we are going to talk about later in the Holy Teacher Scripture. Yeah. When we have no three poisons, then our heart can be always peaceful, at peace. Okay. Now, the next one is our calmness can stop all the chaos in the world. Yeah. There is a story actually happened in New York. There are people who are meditating, and they know that meditation does have some effects. So one day they gather a lot of meditators together, and together they practice the meditation. And as it turned out later, it was reported later that they have the fewest crime in that area on that day. Yeah. So when we have kindness, we have compassion that evaporates throughout the universe. Then the world will be more peaceful. So when our temperament is calm, when our heart is calm, then we are Buddhas in sense. Sense are not just a title; it's really a state of mind. Yeah. When we are fully awakened, when we know what we need to do, our moral responsibility, and when we practice the 5 constants and the 8 virtues, not just today or tomorrow, but every day, 24 hours, then we are already Buddhas in sense. Yeah. So we don't need to live this world pass away to become a Buddha in sense. And when we are always happy and we are full of compassion, then we are also Buddha and Bodhisattva. Yeah, feel free to contribute.
Yeah, because it's like you sort of put your mind to, I want to reach enlightenment, I want to be a Buddha one day, but then you forget about the journey of it, that it's like a cultivation that happens every day.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So it's like result-oriented instead of going, it's much more than that. It's about actually living it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's about the journey.
Yes.
Yeah. And if we, when we are still human beings, we are still very ordinary people, but if we can have more and more of those moments, then it becomes like a habit and becomes our, it's not second nature, but it's something
your character.
Yeah, becomes the character. Like holy teachers say, when we develop a good character, then we can really have a very good destiny in our life. There's a longer sayings on that regard, but. So a good character and temperament is very important. And then the chief examiner of the three realms went on to identify himself. He said, "I am the chief examiner of the three realms." And then on God's decree, came to this temple. Upon entering, I made obeisance to God. Okay, so this we know the chief examiner of the three realms is also like one of the guardian of the Lord. Okay, but when he comes to temple, he also pays respect to Buddhas and saints. We are not saying that he has that title and we don't have the title. This is not like differentiating us between us and him. But even Buddhas and saints, whenever they come to temple, they always say, "I pay respect to Buddha. I bow to Buddha." This is to show the sincerity, respect, and also the humility. Humility is also a very important quality for a cultivator. Yeah. So that's why whenever we come to temple, we always have to perform the arrival ritual. Okay. Or if you are new to the temple and you might not be familiar with this ritual, you can still do some bows, standing bows. Okay. Yeah. And when we have to leave, we also have to perform the departure bow or departure ritual. Again, you can do the standing bow if you're not in the temple, or this is your first time at the temple.
Usually that's inclusive in the after class cutoff propriety. So when I say departure prayer, that's what it consists of.
Mm-hmm. And he went on to say, "I asked my brothers and sisters, how are you all?" Okay, he addressed us as brothers and sisters because remember, he was once the son of holy teacher, and we are disciples of holy teacher. So he kind of called us his brother and sisters. It's an honor for us to be brothers and sisters to a Buddha. Yeah, but they are always Buddhas and saints when they come to a channel. They are always very very humble. Yeah, and they always are very respectful. Like Guan Yin, a Bodhisattva, the goddess of mercy. When she came, she always called us 贤士, means very virtuous and worthy people. Yeah. Only human being would have that kind of some negative judgment about other people. But Buddhas and saints, they all see us as Buddhas and saints. Okay, he say, "Calm your heart, be quiet, and listen to me attentively." Okay, yeah. So whenever we are at temple, we try to calm our heart. We try to settle our heart, and reflect on our first treasure. Okay, and so that we have the right kind of mindset or mental state to listen to all the dharmas and the principles. Okay, so what the following is the scriptures again, and it's going to tell us how precious it is to be able to attend the Dharma class, and how we should really treasure the opportunity to attend such a class, and also the class rules during the Dharma class. Okay, Johnny, can you read the first one?
Yes. Right arrows to the circumstances and herald universal propagation of the Dharma. Dharma boat temples have been established extensively worldwide.
Okay, yeah. So usually they will start with such lines. Now this is what we know the white era, and this era is the time when everyone who has affinity with the Tao or with Buddha, one who has cultivated 3 lifetimes in the previous lives, and one who has very virtuous ancestors, then they can receive this blessing. Yeah. So this is the because why do you have this universal propagation of the Tao? Yeah, because we know that the world really have changed, right? People's heart is no longer pure and innocent, and as we say, free of desires or resentment and things like that. Just look at what happened in the world just recently. Okay, there was the Manchester bombing, Manchester Arena bombing, killing how many people? 23. That's May 22nd. And then May 31st, there's the Afghanistan, Kabul. 80 were killed instantly. Yeah, and June the 2nd, Manila Casino, the fire, yeah. Okay, 37 dead. Yesterday, London.
Yeah, last night. Yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. Well, sometimes we think this is just the conflicts or the animosity between human beings, but they really are rooted in karma, in causality. Because of something happened in the past, like we talk about that in the vegetarianism of the Tao, because we kill so many animals, they have their whole grudge, okay, but because they're animal in this lifetime, they cannot take retaliate. But when they have the opportunity to become human beings, they want their payback. Okay, so and because of the so many calamities, man-made, like what happened, in the past month, and also natural disasters, tsunami, hurricane, tornado, so many things happen in this world. Yeah, that's why our Heavenly Mother wants to save all his or her, children, right? Because we all came from heaven and we came down on vows, or we came down to fulfill our to pay back, what we owe other, sentient beings. Yeah, and
I want to mention that calamities are caused by evil human heart and mind,
yeah,
not by heaven. All right? Because
yeah.
if you notice now, there's more and more calamities, and it's due to the humans being more and more evil.
Yeah, do you remember? I think it was 2014. There was the big earthquake in Nepal. Yeah, but right before that, there was a celebration in Nepal. I think they celebrate some god, and as part of the celebration, they kill so many livestock. And
As part of as a
Thousands,
tradition.
like
Yeah.
thousands of them.
yeah,
Rituals, right?
Yeah.
See, the thing is that society is actually taught that, see, these things happen because of other things other than karma, because karma is not taught to people. So people don't know that whatever we do, like the Buddha says, they're not concerned about the effect or the cause. We as humans are more concerned about the results. Right? Then we should be thinking, well, why are these things happening? We're the ones who are causing these things. So everything we do, eventually we have to, we're gonna get caught up with whatever. We have to pay back what.
And yet, if you talk to the majority of the people, they say, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of my life in this lifetime. I don't care what's going to happen to me later. That's their mindset.
Mm.
No, I think they're still young. They haven't reached that stage where they
No. Has
But
some
not.
of them, yeah.
It's, they just don't. They don't care about the cause and effect.
Because we are putting too much emphasis on our body. Nobody is trying to say that what the mind is doing. See, so that's the big problem.
A lot of people don't care because they believe there's nothing after this.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what the Buddha Nature Class talk about, being the nihilism, means nothing exists. Yeah, there's no Dharma, and there's no life after this.
No heaven. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So Tao is already there before the creation of this human world or the creation of the all the sentient beings. But it's the universal law that good deeds gets rewarded and bad deeds get punishment. Sometimes people ask, why is God not merciful enough to forgive some of the bad people? Like something happened to them, to the bad people, and they say, why didn't the God, why wasn't God more merciful toward other, or even the evil spirits? But then God replied, if I do that to the evil people, so what can I do with the good people? Then they will never have good days, right? Because if this evil people, they can do whatever they want and do not get punished. Yeah.
But people go further to say, why do bad things happen to good people? But innocent people, children.
Yeah.
This is also from past karmas.
Yeah. A lot of people have problems understanding.
Yeah.
And
And
we spoke about this like a few weeks ago when I said you sometimes have an amazing person in your life, but all these bad things keep happening.
Yeah.
And you're like, I wonder why this person is such a good person. Like, why are they
Yeah.
constantly
And they
bad?
say, and people always say, why me? Why me?
yeah.
Right?
And vice versa. There are people who we know are not very good, very kind-hearted. I actually have one of relatives who is like that, but he really enjoys a lot of blessings in this lifetime. Although he's very bad, very unkind to people. Yeah, that's because he's like reaping, the rewards from his past lifetimes. Yeah.
Once that runs out, that's when he's gonna suffer.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
But
So-
it's not only that generation, I heard it's going to be passed from generation.
Yeah, it's several generations.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Just like some people, you see, like my neighbor, next door neighbor, for example, they have a big family, and yet all these bad things keep happening to them. They have like many sons, and a few months ago the last son passed away. Each one of them we see either by accident or by OD or something else. Each one of them. And we said, something is wrong. Why all these bad luck keep happening? So it must be something from the past life.
Yeah. We're not here to talk about politics, but we know the curse of the Camelot, right? The Kennedy family. Yeah. Because I think they were kind of involved in the ammunition deals, right?
Bootlegging. Was
Yeah.
it bootlegging?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why it's important that we know first causality, and then we need to know the proper things to do, the proper mindset, proper views. Then we can avoid doing these things, and then we don't have to suffer from the consequence. Yeah. Okay. So the universal propagation of the Tao started when our 18th patriarch and matriarch got the mandates from heaven. So that was about 1930. Yeah, that's a time when Tao was propagated to ordinary people, and also we have to thank our 18th matriarch because of her. Females, ladies can also have the opportunity to receive a blessing. In the past, it was a male
It
only.
was male only. If you notice nowadays, how many
so
male
many
members compared to how many female? This morning, there was only 2 on the right side. 2.
Yeah, and so because of propagation and people who really understand the principles, they establish so many temples. In Buddhism or in the Tao, we often talk about temple as a boat of Dharma. That we can ferry. We can ferry a lot of people to the other shore. We also talk about that later. The other shore really it doesn't mean literally the banks of the river, but it's like the opposite side of the mundane world is the shore or the place of enlightenment or awareness. Yeah. Now, Guy.
Buddha and Buddha Sarava are calling upon us time and again. Enlightened masters have descended on the world to open up the portal.
Okay, yeah. So through scriptures and through all kinds of books, channeling of the Dharma class, and sometimes it's also like people establishing a temple. Buddhas and saints will also channel through and give us some of the wisdom, words of wisdom, and also merciful teaching. And sometimes they will also give us some hint as to what will happen. In the future, we are all human beings. We don't have that kind of ability, but these are enlightened beings. They can see far ahead, right? They can also know what happened. Like when Buddhas and saints look at us, they know what kind of life we had before and what's lying ahead of us. Yeah, there's a time when they have a Dharma class in North Carolina, and I don't know which Buddha it was, but as they said, don't you play with water? The Buddha was addressing the whole audience, yeah, and so nobody really, took notice of what was said. Okay, and then months down the road, there was a lecturer, very young, who went to a vacation in Mexico, right?
I think Cancun.
Oh,
for
Cancun.
vacation.
And guess what? He got drowned.
He got drowned in 3 feet of water with a lifesaver jacket on.
And he's also a swimmer.
And no, he doesn't know how to swim. He didn't know how to swim.
That's why
3 feet.
Oh,
All he had
okay.
to do was stand up. He's tall. He may be, I think, 5'10". Okay. All he had to do was stand up. He drowned. 3 feet of water with a life jacket on.
Yeah. So sometimes when Buddhas and saints come and say something, we
There's a
thought
meaning behind
it was for others. It was intended for other people. But really, we have to listen and really follow the instruction of Buddhas and saints.
That was
Yeah.
Guan Yin Bodhisattva that
Oh.
channeled it. And she actually said that we always love to play in the water by the beach. And if we have a dangerous situation, we always expect the Buddhas to come and save us when they're so busy.
Yeah.
That's what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
The same thing happened years ago before tsunami happened.
Uh-huh.
They were having channeling in a Dharma class in Asia.
Japan. In Japan. Yeah. Japan.
Which the Buddha warned people, the cultivator, not to go to the ocean, river, or anywhere. And not long ago tsunami happened. So a lot of people
Yeah. So this is what they call the apocalypse. Apocalypse, right? They have that kind of apocalypse. Apocalypse. Yeah. They can tell a lot of things, and we just need to pay attention to what we hear from Buddhas and saints. Yeah. Okay. And then enlightening masters, they come to this world to help open up the portal. So
Portal is spelled wrong. P-O-R.
oh yeah, proto.
P-O-R-T-A-R.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. So we know it takes a person of high virtue to be able to open up our portal. Yeah, and that's why Mary cannot receive the blessing today. Yeah.
Because only the transmitters can do that. And they're all out.
Yeah, and a transmitter, it's really not transmitter who opened up the heavenly portal. It's a holy teacher who's using the hand of the transmitter to open up. Yeah, so we should not really. It's just like a very light touch, but has tremendous impact on our life. Yeah, so we should not take it
Yeah,
lightly.
because the transmitters are the only ones that have heaven's mandate.
Okay.
But just to clarify how it works first. The transmitter usually go to the altar first to invite the holy teacher to
Buddhas and
the
saints.
Buddhas themselves.
Yeah.
So then that's how it happens afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, we also have the invocation ceremony at the beginning of the Dharma class. That's a must. That's the ritual that we have to go through to have the Dharma class, because we need the protection and also the blessing of all the Buddhas and saints to have a very smooth Dharma class. Yeah. Okay. Jean, can you start? Talk every the third one.
Causalities are many in the Dharma ending period. How can the golden thread be taken lightly?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Here's one more mistake. It should be calamities, and so and you just calamities. Yeah. As I mentioned earlier, and we all know nowadays, a lot of bad news grip the headlines. Right. Every day, always something happened. Yeah. Yeah. So in this era, there are so many disasters, and the only thing we can do is to really cultivate ourselves. And sometimes, receiving the blessing makes also a lot of difference, because when we receive the blessing, it's like we open this account in heaven, and then when we start doing good things, perform merits, then it's like deposit we make into the bank account. Yeah. If we don't open up the account, then we can still do good deeds, right? But it's not recognized in heaven. They don't know who perform all these good deeds. So really, it's important to receive this blessing. And only when we perform good deeds, we help other people, we help sentient beings, then we can really avoid some of the calamities. But of course, also subject to our own karmic or karma in the past. But if we do good deeds, we can also help offset our bad karmas from the past. Okay, this is what we call the Dharma ending periods. They are talking about the three periods of the Dharma. There's first the Dharma, the truth Dharma period, or the era of the proper Dharma. So that's the time when all these truths and principles were taught and actually practiced. So that was the time when Sakyamuni Buddha, he was still alive. But then when he passed away, it was I think about 486 BC when he passed away. 10,000 after he's passed away, that period is called Xiangfa. It means that people were doing the Dharma was still taught to people, but people were not so sincere in learning about it, and they don't necessarily practice. Yeah, and this is the Dharma ending period. Okay, so it's another 10. For this period, there are 10,000 years. Okay, since the Nirvana, the passing away of Shakyamuni Buddha. Now, in this period, we know people do not believe in the truth or principles, and people just do whatever their heart, to their heart's desire, right? Years ago, I think it was in 2008, there was murder in Flushing, just on Colden Street. I was living there at the time, and do you know why a Chinese man was killed by an African boy? And
Outside or in his home?
No, outside on the streets. And it turned out later that he just wanted the sneakers the Chinese man was wearing at the time. Just for a pair of shoes, he took the life of another person. And
He could have just asked for it.
I guess, yeah. And with that comes the suffering and the misery of the family, his two families actually, and also the karma, that goes with the
Now,
deed.
talking about the karma, we don't know what went on in the past life.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in this life, it's due to a karma.
Yeah.
See, so only the Buddhas know. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, the golden thread should not be taken lightly. Okay, remember the golden thread. You, Mika already attended the Dharma class, so we know that there are two golden thread. On the outside, there's the Tao's lineage, right? Starting from the Heavenly Mother, and then to 17th patriarch, 18th, and then our,
Our
grand predecessor, yeah,
predecessor,
and our
Trade.
transmitter,
吹老点传世
senior transmitter tray, and then our senior transmitter Jane here, and then to all the of us, right?
and
yeah.
also who introducer and guarantor.
Yeah. Okay.
Always remember them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And also there's the internal golden thread. It means our virtue, right? It's our virtue or our Buddha nature. Yeah. So we need to grasp this golden thread, and that's going to guarantee that we can, if we really follow this lineage, and we also do everything in accordance with our internal virtue, which means remember the 5 constants and the 8 virtues.
What are the 5 constants?
Can
Guy?
you remember, Guy?
We're picking on you. What are the 5 constants? I'll start. Benevolence.
Righteousness.
That includes compassion, yeah.
Yeah.
Virginia gave you one. Righteousness.
Righteousness.
Propriety.
Trust. Wisdom.
Wisdom.
And trust.
Trust or
Of
sincerity of faith. Yeah.
Memorize them.
Yeah.
Memorize them.
Yeah, because these are our benchmarks in our daily thinking, in our daily speech, our daily conduct. We make sure when we do something that we are not so sure, think if they are in line with those 5 constants. Then
What are
we'll.
the other 2 now? I missed them.
Oh, what do you have?
I went to
Benevolence.
wisdom.
Okay,
Blackboard.
it's in this order: benevolence, righteousness, propriety, wisdom, and faith or trust. Now, faith and trust goes
It's
in the
like
center.
same.
Okay, it's in the center. If we have faith and trust, then all the other constants will fall into place.
Okay.
Okay?
And there are also the virtues.
What are the 8 virtues? The first one, everybody should know that.
Yeah, because
The first one.
if you look at
piety.
filial
That was
piety.
our class was mostly, the second day was all about filial
Filial
piety.
piety.
Yeah.
And
And
the Buddha always come right after filial piety class. Okay.
yeah.
So
Okay. And then the second one is brotherhood. Brotherhood. Actually, do you remember some of the 8 virtues? We have filial piety, brotherhood, huh?
Vegetarianism? No?
No. Well, that may be part of the compassion, right? Or benevolence, yeah. Okay. Loyalty, right? And also sincerity or trust. And then Li, propriety, Yi, righteousness, Lian, integrity, Shi, sense of shame. Yeah, lecturer Jean is going to write on the blackboard. Yeah, these are very important to always use, for us to use as guidelines. Okay. Okay.
we should memorize this also.
The next line is a little abstract, or Mika, can you read?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Alright, so we are over here.
Yeah, the supreme.
The supreme middle path is utmost truth, embodying unchanging principles of true self. Clicking with Dharmakaya, the essence or Dharma body, we transcend the mundane and rise up to the realm of sages.
Thank you. Okay, so this is the first line. Really talks about the Tao. Okay, on a large scale. It's the truth and the principles of the entire universe. And then the second one talk about our Buddha nature. Okay, so our Buddha nature is always there. It never dies. It's not created nor destroyed. Okay, yeah, and it's always there. So on the on another aspect, we can talk about the first four words as the the essence, the principles, and the second part of the line talks about how we should really apply the principles or the essence into our conduct, our behavior. Okay. Now the second line, Shiro Benti, means that we kind of tune in with our essence on the Dhammakaya or the Dhamma body. Then if we tune in or if we click with our Dhammakaya, it means that our Buddha nature is always guiding us. And when we have our Buddha nature guiding us, then our actions, everything about us is proper, right? And we will not have all the three poisons. We don't have any, we say, pride or arrogance, and then we are already in line with the mentality of Buddhas and saints. And so if we keep doing this, then we are going to really transcend, rise above the mundane, the ordinary world. And then we can go back to the absolute heaven. We can rise up to the realm of the sages. Okay, yeah. So, as we said earlier, this we say attainment of the Tao is not just for the title, for the position, but it's really in our state of mind. Okay, so every day, if we always care about other people instead of caring about ourselves only, then we are already Buddhas in sense. Yeah, because one of the major distinction between Buddhas and saints is, Buddhas and saints, they never think about themselves. They only think about other people, other sentient beings. While human beings, we are more obsessed with our own interests, with our own comfort, and because of this, then it gives rise to we say the three poison. Okay, we'll talk about that later. The three poison meaning greed, resentment, and ignorance. Okay, Mary, would you mind reading the next lines?
External environment is chaotic and unsettled. Various temptations of fame, power, and sentiments are lurking.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah, if you look at our outside world, especially in the metropolitan New York, there's so many chaotic scenes, right? Yeah. So many things that happen, as we already mentioned just now. And really, it's very hard. It's very hard for us to calm our mind in such environment. But now we have received this blessing, and we know we have this Buddha nature that can help us. So we just, leave it to the device. Leave it to the device of our Buddha nature. We allow it to come to the front, and we always use our Buddha nature to deal with the happenings. So because we understand the principles, no matter what happens on the outside, we still remain calm. If something bad happened to us, sometimes we can interpret it as like the revelation of some of the bad karma in the past. Of course, we should try to cultivate diligently so we can avoid such happenings. Yeah, but even if when things happen, we just take it graciously. Just like Holy Teacher said, we should always have a joyful heart and just accept whatever happened. Yeah, and when our heart is not stirred, okay, it's always calm. Then we don't have we don't have to suffer, right? Yeah, there's a philosopher who said life is only 5% of what actually happens, but 90% of how we react to it. Yeah, same thing can happen to different people with different response, different reactions, right? There's a story. There was a person who were criticizing Buddha. Okay, when we say Buddha, we refer to Sakyamuni Buddha. Yeah, he said, he says such mean words to Buddha, but Buddha still smiled at him. He said, if you had said that to me before I was awakened, I probably would be upset. But now it does not bother me. Okay. And he said, when you bring gift to a person's family, and if the person does not take the gift, who gets the gift back? Yeah, the sender, right? It's the same with criticism, cursing, swearing. If the other person does not take it, then yeah. So it's actually, we don't have to be upset with what's happening on the outside. And sometimes we even got upset because of other people's shortcomings, other people's mistakes or faults. That's even senseless, right? Yeah. And there are so many temptations, right? Fame, power, all kinds of feelings or sentiments that are, really tempting us or luring us. Yeah. But if we still got affected, then we are still dwelling in the forms. Okay. When we still dwell in forms, then we cannot really have we say the perfect freedom or perfect emancipation. Then we still have to be subject to the reincarnation. Yeah. If you have anything you want to add or contribute, or your life story, experience, feel free. Okay, the next slide. Evelyn.
Like some sound on the message, we will remain calm and still like the
Okay. Yeah, so there are so many temptations on the outside world, and now everything out in the outside world is glittering, sparkling, right? Especially when when you walk down the Fifth Avenue. Fashion, jewelry, yeah, they are really very tempting, right? Yeah. But I think there is a cultivator who say, well, I cannot wear them all, even I possess them. So after she learned about all these principles and not to be, greedy, she said, when I have that, fans liking for them, I just go to do some window shopping, just look at that. But of course, gradually we even need to let go of this such, such inclination or such temptation. Yeah, yeah. So, like we said last week,
Put the tags on the clothes.
yeah, and we just actually, when we have a very simple life, we can be more full of joy, right? Yeah, I think there's also a very popular message going on the social media. I think the theme of the message is, the more important thing, or the value that we have, is really when we have nothing on, being naked. Are we still valuable? So it's talking about what's inside. Are we virtuous? Do you have a good heart for other people? Yeah. Do you have all this filial piety, brotherhood, sincerity, and everything? Yeah. If we do, then that value really outweighs all the name brands. Okay, so at the side of these sounds and sights, can we still remain very calm and unperturbed, and just like as steady as a mountain? No matter what happens, it does not move. Okay, same. Whether it's good temptation or bad temptation, we can still remain very calm. Yeah. So one of my goals is that I can be always happy no matter what happens.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm.
Accomplish it?
Yeah, to some extent, yeah. Yeah, at least I don't get upset so easily. And when I kind of put my desire for clothing or jewelry or anything material, I check, I pay. Yeah. And I try to declutter, right? Yeah, to make my life simple. Yeah, like I don't have to worry what I need to wear, what I wear today, what I eat today. Yeah, and then our mind will not be so clouded, and we have more time to think about the good things in life, to more time to help other people. Okay, the next one, Ash, Ashley.
If it isn't true Tao, strive for it, should not be neglected. If it is not true Tao, back away from it with the best movie.
Okay. Yeah. So Ashley, do you want to talk about how you understand these two lines?
Um, yeah. So, so for me, personally, I've been surrounded by the Tao for almost my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So, like every day, obviously, I strive to become a better person and try to kind of envision, embody the Tao principles.
Mm-hmm.
So, obviously, like my parents are also like the Tao, so they're like, oh, um, you're not like you know the Tao principles, you should know like what's right and what's wrong. Especially now when I'm not with my parents and I'm like by myself, it really applies to me. And so then every time, I don't know, every time I like face a problem or something like difficult for me, I just try to remember the principles and try not to ignore them. And times when it becomes easy to ignore them, I try to always hold on to them in some kind of way. And obviously, like, if it's not true now, we back away from it. I've had experiences where, like, it's just, like, really bad. Like, it's just, like, really bad experiences. And, obviously, like, some people, I don't want to say all people, but some people would just, like, kind of indulge or whatever. And just forget about forget about the morals or like what they need to do to themselves. But like in times of these, like that's when you especially need to remember what you learned, especially like in temple and
Yeah.
like, apply them. Sometimes this is like when you actually need to become or like embody what you believe in and like stick up for yourself and what you believe in the most. So like especially just like experiences in college, like I've learned to be more true to myself, more true to now, because I don't know, I haven't really met too many people who are exactly like me. So it's like balance. So yeah, so basically if I see something that I should be doing, I'm like, okay, I'll just say it. And then like I just like every day in like everyday daily interactions, I just try to remember, oh, I should be acting this way, or I should remember to do this or do that. And try to be like my best version of myself, and also try to stick with now as much as possible.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
Yeah, so you're living the principles. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I also have benefited so much from attending the class here. I think in the past I have more of the time when I encounter a situation and I just don't have I didn't have the a good way to walk out of the situation. But nowadays, I think when sometimes some situation arise, and it just kind of some good idea just surface, and I'm better able to handle all kinds of situations, whether it's difficulties or it's like trials, and I think I'm just maybe wiser, a little bit wiser or smarter. Yeah. So this is really the benefits of learning the principle. It's going to help us remove some of the dust, or we say the layers, the egoistical views or desires. These are like dust that's covering up our innate wisdom. Yeah, when we don't have this, and we have the words of Buddhas and saints, they're always echoing in our mind. And so sometimes when something happens, you always hear some words by Buddhas and saints, and they give you that kind of perfect um, idea or solution. Yeah.
Like transmitting said last week as well, it becomes second nature,
Mm.
just in a way. Like we were speaking about the vegetarianism.
Yeah.
Like what would you do in a situation where meat was put on your plate? Like it's just, you don't even have to think about it, you just know what you have to do.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah, we use our Buddha nature to guide us in everything we do.
Yeah. So if you really believe in this style, then we just need to strive forward. We just need to practice what we learn, because cultivating or learning about all this Dharma, learning about all this Dharma is not about acquiring knowledge, okay? As Francis Bacon ever said, knowledge is for entertainment, for ornaments. We don't learn to decorate ourselves. We learn something, we have to make it, part of ourselves. Yeah, we have to really live out all these teachings and all these principles. Yeah, so we should not be negligent. We should not, kind of go back, not go backward. However, if it is not true down, like sometimes there are people who said, "Oh, this temple promised that I can be a transmitter," when he's only a junior. Is that real down? No, because the mandate is like an recognition of the heaven on a certain person. The person must have done a lot of good deeds for other people, and so that he can have the opportunity to get the mandate. And for a person who is very new to the temple, it's and I mean it's unthinkable, right, that the person that can receive the mandate from heaven. So we should be able to judge whether the person is saying is right. And when someone can say that, then it means probably the organization he's associated with may not be so proper, and we should really back away. And
At the same time, we shouldn't even think, okay, that, oh, I can be a transmitter one day. Don't even think like that. Okay? Yeah. Don't even think like that, because then you're already deviating from the Dharma.
Yeah. It should be very natural, and we just focus on the cultivation part. We don't really need to ask about the rewards.
One does not need to be a transmitter to become enlightened or transcend from this world. All one needs to do is to cultivate oneself, okay, and help others to cultivate, to be able to do that. So it's not the title that's important, it's our heart and mind.
Thank you. Okay, Rochelle, please read the next lines.
Relying on the principle to cultivate sincerely, we nurture kindness and goodness and put an end to vices. Upholding integrity and self-restraint, our hearts are proper and our conducts are dignified.
Thank you very much. Okay. Do you want to share your understandings of the line?
Okay. I have a story.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I think in 11th grade, I got in a huge fight with my friend because it's I kind of had a problem with her personality, because she always left things to the last minute and she wouldn't do it right away. And as a person, I really like when she takes her time. So I got into a fight with her about that. And it resulted we didn't speak to each other for a few days, and it was the worst fight I ever had. And I felt so sad because she was my best friend and I would always talk to her every day. But now she's gone, so I don't have anyone to talk to. So I talked to my sister Karen about it, and she was like, this is what you learned in temple, and now to approach the situation and deal with it yourself. And I was like, oh, okay, that's true. So I was the first to go up to her apologized to her basically. I said, I'm sorry that I approached the situation so badly. Like, I could have been nicer about it. And then she was like, yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't really consider your advice. And I just, like, did whatever I wanted to do. So in the end, I had to basically just, like, swallow my pride and approach first, because like if you don't, then the situation is sour, then who knows what will happen between me and my friend. So I learned from down that to release your guilt. I don't know, release your grudge. Don't hold a grudge. And always be open-minded to situations that that you don't particularly like, and you always have to be flexible with it, and how to solve it, and how to deal with it.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's a very good example.
That's good example, yeah.
Right. Actually, maybe we are resume after the break.
Take a 10-minute break.
Okay, thank you. So I'm very glad that Rochelle shared with us her own experience. Yeah. So when something happened to us, or like somebody make us upset us by their doing, and if we don't let go, then we are the one who suffer too, right? Yeah. So after I realized this truth, I try not to be upset. There was a time when my business partner also gave me some hard time. Um, in the past, I would be so upset or angry, but now I try to turn my mind around. Okay. Even if he's wrong and I'm right, there's no sense trying to reason at the time. Yeah. And I just let go. When he comes down, then I try to, show him the truth, or, try to let him see what it is. And I think, if we keep practice this, then we are going to have a very calm demeanor no matter what happens. And as we come to the temple often, we learn about all this, truth and principles. It's going to, really take root in us. And this kind of, we say the wisdom is going to build up. And, someday we are going to have that perfect wisdom that's already in us, fully restored. Yeah. So the important thing is to let go of ego. Like Rochelle said, to swallow the pride. Sometimes pride really hurt us and hurt other people. Yeah.
So we have to let go of that ego, the I.
Yeah. Right. So here it talk about, we have to rely on these principles. It's important to know the truth and the principle, so we know the right thing to do, and the things that we have to be cautious with. And so this way we can put an end or terminate all the vices in us. Yeah, remember we have 10 vices in us. Yeah, in our body we have what? Killing, right? Stealing, and also like no, 杀盗淫. Okay, it's like adultery, things like that. Okay, yeah, and then our mouth can also talk about something bad, right? We say, Jane, do you remember?
The mouth is the worst weapon. We all have this weapon that we can kill with. It's that mouth. Okay? Words can kill. So be very careful what comes out of it. What comes out can never be taken back.
Yeah.
All right? Think before we open the mouth.
Yeah, we don't say anything that's not true, and we don't gossip.
We don't gossip. We don't lie. Very
Yeah.
important. Do not lie.
Yeah.
Okay? What is not our business, we do not talk about. If it has nothing to do with us, that's other people's business, nothing for us to talk about.
And as we learned last week, don't just speak for the sake of speaking.
Yeah.
Be open to listening.
Right.
Because then otherwise you can really get your words confused.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
there's misunderstandings.
Yeah, right, yeah.
It's very important to be a listener. Okay?
Yeah.
Because whatever other people say, if we listen wrong, we interpret what the other person is saying all wrong, and it wasn't even meant as an insult, and we take it as an insult.
Yeah.
Okay, so be very careful how we listen.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then there's also the three vices in our mind. Remember what they are? And this is also this is also was also mentioned during Holy Teacher and Third Prince channeling. Yeah, the three poisons, right? Greed, resentment, and ignorance. Yes. So once we get rid of all these 10 vices, then what reveals is the 10 kindnesses. And this actually is the fundamental of the Mahayana Dharma. You know, we say the upper vehicle Dharma. Yeah. Because if we don't get rid of this, no matter how many books, classics, or sutras we read, they amount to nothing. Okay, and then the next line also talk about being integrity and know how to discipline ourselves so that we can have a proper heart and we also have very dignified conducts. Okay. Okay. The next one, Cindy.
Follow the right path or orbit, observe precepts, and will not violate. Reflect upon ourselves constantly and examine our inner self diligently.
Thank you so much. Okay, so there's the 正轨. Okay, the 轨 actually means like the track of a train. Okay, or I said the orbit, the track. Okay, so we have to follow the right path. What is the right path to follow? Cindy?
So the right path to follow is just like making sure you're staying on the Golden Line, like following the Tao,
Uh-huh.
and then like come to temple every time that you can, and you're free, and then make sure like you don't have any attachments, and you're always keeping the Tao principles in the back of your head whenever you come to any situation.
Okay, great, wonderful. Yeah, and so do you also often reflect inward?
I try to, but it is hard because like when you make a mistake, you usually focus on like what you did wrong and like the consequences, like the embarrassment. And then if you like take the time to reflect after, you'll learn a lot and then improve in your life. So I mean, I try to do it more often, but it is hard.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. So we all live in a very busy world. There's hustling and bustling, and sometimes we don't really calm ourselves and try to focus on the inside of us. But now we have received the blessing, and we know how to practice. One of the treasures. It is to reflect inward, and the best time is to do it is probably maybe like before we go to bed. That's the time we can kind of like go over what happened in the day life, in the daytime, and if we do everything in accordance with the Tao, in accordance with the principles, we kind of think of what we have done wrong. We should really focus on things that we have not done properly, so that we can make them proper in our future conducts. Yeah. So actually, cultivate the first thing first is that we also have to get rid of our bad habits and our faults. Yeah. Only when we are free of any bad habits and faults, then we can start talking about traveling on the right path. Okay. Yeah. And I feel that reflecting on ourselves is the way that we can really improve. When something happens, when something does not, the situation does not come out the way we want. We first look at ourselves. We don't point fingers at others. We don't put the blame on others. So this is one of the benefits to do the inner reflection. The other benefit of reflecting inward is also to recharge. Yeah. Before Dharma class, I was always very busy. We have a lot of preparations to do for the Dharma class, and I was also very busy at work. People probably would go crazy. So many things to do. My time can be, it's like, counted, by seconds or by minutes. I'm just always so hard pressed for time.
She's a multitasker.
And sometimes physically I could be very drained, very exhausted. But I would use the time when I'm driving or even sitting in the traffic. You know how traffic is in New York, right? Every day I'm sitting in traffic. People might complain about the jam, right? But I use the time
To relax.
to reflect. And actually that was the time when I can really recharge the battery. Yeah. So instead of people might complain, but I think, this is the situation, and there's no way we can be out of the situation. So why don't we make good use of the situation to recharge, to just calm down, right? Yeah. Okay. Next line, Tiffany.
With heaven and human, unique as one. Another shall
Figure. Perfect.
perfectly elected is which the
Prospect.
prospect is bright and the low abiding ground.
It's okay. Thank you so much. Okay. So when we and heaven and human unite as one, it means that we become one with heaven and earth. We know that heaven and earth, they have very high virtue, right? They nourish us. They give us the air, the sunlight, the rain, to nurture us. Um, Also, the earth is also very virtuous. No matter what we do, it does what it has to do, right? Sometimes we spit on earth, right? Does it complain? Does it, do something bad, to retaliate? No, right? So we have to learn the virtue of heaven and earth. And so when our mind is in line, in sync with heaven, then we have already achieved the perfect enlightenment, right? Then the other shore, we have already reached the other shore, and we know that the other shore actually means the perfect enlightenment. Enlightenment. Okay. So this is the shore where there's still all these, different sentiments. There are forms, right? There are all these temptations. But once we realize that these are all temporary, they are impermanent, then we kind of turn around and we are already on the other shore. We already can put behind all these worries and vexations, and arrive at the perfect understanding or realization. Okay, so heaven is not really up there, it's already in here. So our goal in this lifetime is to strike harmony, create harmony among people in this world, and then after we leave this world, we want to go back to that, the source that we came from, the absolute heaven. Okay, so this is part of the scripture, and then there are two words that says haha. I guess this is some kind of interjection, and it kind of signals that he's going to start another paragraph. Okay, haha, it means like being joyful.
Yeah, I used to think of it as a laughter. The Buddha's laughter.
Okay, let me see. Vicky, can you read? Do you have the handout?
Yes, she does.
Okay.
Dharma class take place due to the convergence of affinity. Affinity equal to karmic causes, seeds, and circumstances. On hand are good talents whose kindness is deeply rooted.
Thank you so much. So we often talk about Dharma class being the joint act of heaven and human. We need heavens also help to be able to have the Dharma class. But of course, they say heaven cannot speak, right? So it relies on human beings to really transmit the message, to send the message, being the messenger. So for us to be able to have a Dharma class, it really calls for a lot. So it has to be, we say, the affinity, okay, all kinds of affinity. Of course, you probably heard that for a person to be able to attend a Dharma class, the person must have cultivated for 5 lifetimes in the past without stop, 5 consecutive lifetimes. Yeah, so we need to have this type of foundation, okay. We also need to have having help, and also the circumstances are right. Dharma class cannot happen just any place, any time. Nowadays, I think there are still some kind of prejudice against the heavenly Tao in mainland, so they cannot have any Dharma class there. Yeah, so we think, oh, it's just some kind of classes, but it's not. Yeah, so it really needs a lot of conditions, ripening of the conditions. And when we talk about the affinity here, in temple, we often talk about affinity, and this is a very important part of the Tao or the cultivation. Just as Mary